Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepsky.
Hey, before we start today's show, I want to give a special shout out to everyone at Joe Fest and remind everyone that today's guest, Josh Eggebeen, their Kickstarter is running. I believe it ends in about 10 days from now. So hurry up and check it out. We talk about it on the show, but I want to add some urgency there. And then I want to further draw your attention to a really, really great opportunity that's coming up in September. Jamie Sullivan, G.I. Joe artist extraordinaire, is doing a fundraiser dinner out here in California. Details and tickets are at jamiesullivan.net. Check his website out there. But basically, it is a very exclusive event. Slots are for about 15 couples, I believe. I believe they've expanded it so that your ticket covers 2 tickets. And there, as of this count, there's like 16 creators from the G.I. Joe universe that are going to be there. Voice actors, comic book writers, people of all ilk and associations to G.I. Joe that we can get at the event. The event is raising funds for what will hopefully be Jamie's final surgery that he needs on his foot in order to save his foot. So it's for a very good cause. Your ticket gets you dinner and hours spent talking to the G.I. Joe heroes and legends that are going to be at this dinner. Go to jamiesullivan.net to check out all the details. And there's other ways you can help. There's smaller donations you can give. There are basically raffle tickets. If you give one of the smaller donations, you're basically earning a raffle ticket. And from that pool, one will win a free ticket to the show. So I know you're at Joe Fest right now. Everyone's spending a ton of money and everyone's doing all that. And we get that. So we're going to get you through Joe Fest. And then you're going to start thinking, what am I going to do in the fall? What kind of massive G.I. Joe event am I going to do in the early fall? And the answer is Jamie Sullivan's, G.I. Joe celebrity fundraiser dinner. So please, please, please go to his website and check it out. It is awesome. We're gonna fill the slots, and we're gonna get Jamie a surgery, and then we're gonna put it all to bed, baby. But most of all, you're gonna have a great night. You're gonna get everything you ever wanted autographed from all these amazing G.I. Joe creators. jamiesullivan.net to check it out. And now we start the show this week with my very special guest, Mr. Josh Eggebeen. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Joe on Joe. It's me, your host, Joe Slepsky, and we're back this week for another episode of Joe on Joe Renegade Edition. Josh Eggebeen is my co-host today. Josh, I need to come up. The clock is ticking. We're 9 episodes in. I haven't come up with an extreme style moniker for Renegades, and I don't know if I will. But I need to figure out something. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest this week is Josh Eggebeen. You know him from the After Action Report.
Yes, hello everybody. Yo, Joe!
Yo, Joe.
You can never go wrong with Yo, Joe and yelling that.
You can never go wrong with yelling Yo, Joe.
So maybe just yell Yo, Joe if you don't know.
You can go wrong with yelling Yo, Joe, because if you say it incorrectly, you expose yourself.
Right.
I say this with love. I've had people who totally are like, oh my God, you do a G.I. Joe podcast? I'm like, yeah. And then they look at me and they go, go Joe. And my heart breaks. And it's everything in my brain to not stop them.
Isn't that like the soap in the toilets? Have you ever seen those?
No.
Soap? They have these little dispensers that say "Go Joe."
Do they really?
In some bathrooms.
I don't
know. They're reading that.
Yeah, right.
The soap dispensers from a bathroom, not Yo Joe. Go Joe.
Yeah, and it's so close. Or they say Joe Yo or something like that, and it's so close, and you're like, your heart's with them, so you have to smile and go.
Right.
Which brings me to this. Josh. Oh, so real quick, Josh, and ladies and gentlemen, listeners, if it's your first time joining the show, welcome aboard. This is the Joe and Joe podcast. I've watched every episode of all the cartoons in sequential order. We're working our way through G.I. Joe Renegades. So if this is your first time listening to the show, welcome aboard, and please go through our back catalog. It's all available. We have a Patreon that you can visit. That also has, if you want to help support the show, that also has all of the old episodes. And the show's designed as a watch along or a read along. So if you're reading old issues of G.I. Joe, I've covered every issue of the Marvel series 1 through 155. And if you're watching along with the cartoons, you hit play when we hit play, and we'll watch along with you. That's really what this show is all about. and I love getting back to the roots, and so that's what we're doing here with Josh this week. So we're watching G.I. Joe Renegades, episode 9, which is called The Enemy of My Enemy. So we're going to be watching that later. But in the meantime, we're going to talk to Josh, who is Josh Eggebeen from the After Action Report, about his awesome publishing ventures. They just came out with a trivia and activity book that just shipped from their Kickstarter. And as we're recording this, and as you're first hearing this on launch, we're in the midst of another Kickstarter for the third volume.
Yes.
Third volume of the Command Files, which covers Cobra. We're going to talk about that in detail. But first, I want to say, talking about being minutia, Josh, as we're recording this, we're weeks beyond Free Comic Book Day. And I have to say, it still haunts me that when I went to a comic book shop on Free Comic Book Day and they had a trivia section and it said, answer some questions for prizes. I didn't know what the prizes were. It was like mostly for fun and kids. Like I didn't genuinely care about the prizes. But I'm like, me, I'm like, yeah, let me see what kind of trivia stuff. So I'm going through them and I'm answering them. And they had one of the questions 100% wrong. Like,
they got
provably incorrect with a quick Google search. Plus, I know what the answer is. I lived through the era. So I'm going to ask you. They gave you 4 answers, but you may know this or may not know this. Actually, it's a Marvel superheroes question. What was the real name, human name, of the first female Captain Marvel? You may not.
Well, it's not the first female.
It's not Carol Danvers.
It's not Carol Danvers.
Yeah, it's Monica Rambeau. Right, that's what I'm saying. You may not have known her name.
I was just about to say it's the character that's in the WandaVision show, and I was struggling.
Yes.
But I would have got the Rambeau. I would have got Rambeau.
Obviously.
Right.
Monica Rambeau.
Right.
Like, I lived through that.
Yeah.
She was Captain Marvel for a good 10 years.
Right.
Before they, for longer than that. She came out in like 85 or 86. And they didn't rename Captain Carol Danvers until when they took Marvel away from her, when Peter David did the Marvel Sun series, which was like 95. So she was Captain Marvel for like 10 years.
But wasn't the Carol Danvers character in the comic
she was
well
Ms. Marvel.
before?
Oh, she was but it's
well before.
That wasn't the question.
Right.
It was what's the name of the first female Captain Marvel, and the questions were like, or the answers were like Jean Grey, Carol Danvers, like Sue Storm, and then some other, like Wanda or something.
Right.
Like that. I just write down in words. I go, none of these are right. I'm writing with pencil, right? None of this is right. It was Monica Rambeau.
Right.
And I even said from Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16.
You knew his title of it.
Yeah, Roger Stern, John Romita. Right. I know this is the answer. So I go up to the front desk, and I don't even know what the prizes are. I don't care.
Right.
They were I don't care. But it was early in the day, and I felt bad for the store because they were provably wrong, and I wanted them to not look bad. So I just I handed it to her, and she goes, this woman looks at me with this smug ass look, goes, I'm going to give it to you. Like, let me get the winning prizes.
Right.
She goes, because you were honest. Like, you were so close with it. And I went, what does that mean? She goes, well, you missed this one. And
the Carol Danvers.
Yeah. And there's this dude standing next to me. And I went, is it the Carol Danvers one? She goes, yeah. She goes, it's Carol. I go, it's the Captain Marvel one. She goes, yeah, it's Carol Danvers. Here's the first one. And I went, it's really not, though. I'm like,
it's right.
Yeah, and I was trying so hard to not be that guy, right?
But you know it.
But I'm right. Like, it's not a weird, I'm not being a weirdo. Like, you're wrong. Well, and I looked at her and I go, well, it's not, though. And I really had that vibe of, like, there was a woman called Monica Rambeau. I was like, black woman, she big light powers. She was on,
she's in the
movies.
TV show. She's in the movies. Yeah.
I go, she was Captain Marvel like around 85, 86 or something like that. And the lady with the smuggest look on her, is an older woman.
Right.
The smuggest look. No, you're wrong. And my brain started breaking at that point. And this little a-hole next to me, this dude who he actually looked about 30.
Okay.
This dude's standing next to me, and he looks up at me. And I'm going to do the voice, but I swear to God, this was his voice. He goes, no, the answer is Carol Danvers. I should know because I bought her issue number 1 where she is Captain Marvel on the cover.
Nah.
Josh, I'm not joking. That was the sound I heard in my ears. It has haunted me since free comic book day.
Oh.
6 weeks.
Yes.
And I looked at that dude and I went, now him, I got a little chestier.
Right.
I got a little more because I'm not here to bust an old lady's chops. But
Right.
No,
she's just working behind the
excuse
counter on a
me,
busy
you're
day.
wrong.
I looked at him. I go, dude, no. I go, you're not. I go, it's not. I go, it's her name's Monica Rambeau. It's not. It's okay. And I was trying to be
Right.
kind. I really was. But it's not. It's Monica Rambeau. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going crazy here.
Right.
And the dude looks at me and goes,
Bro, you're not going to win this argument. I know the answer. It's Carol Danvers.
I walked away withholding every ounce of energy I had in my body.
Was the light of Monica Rambeau shooting out your ears?
It was insane, and I was buying some books. I still had to check out. I just went deep breath, walked around, and it's not a huge store, so I
Right.
just kind of walked around the corner, hit the register. I didn't say another word to anybody. Paid
Right.
for my books. You know,
Got
they had a
it.
nice event. They
Yeah.
had a wonderful event. Not
Yeah.
knocking. Paid for my books. I walk outside to where my wife was hanging out with some friends of ours who were signing there that day, and I walked over there, and I just was sitting in like a weird haze of like, am I insane?
Right.
You know, so I had to Google it, of course, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Maybe
maybe
wrong.
I'm wrong,
Right.
even though I know I wasn't.
Right.
And yeah, sure enough, it's an easily provable thing. I don't think my wife has ever been more proud of me when I told her that I just shut up and walked out of the store. She goes, "I'm so proud of you. Like you didn't." I go, "But
Bro, you're not going to win this one.
Well, Google
I bought
says,
that comic book.
my only hope and prayer is that dude went home, was thinking ill of
Right.
me, was like,
What a jerk. I can't believe that big bald dummy thought that Carol Danvers wasn't the first Captain Marvel. I'm going to prove him wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. It's
and then I
Marvel,
hope he
Captain
Googled
Marvel.
it,
Oh,
and I
got
hope
it
he
wrong.
felt terrible about
Right.
himself. I hope he regrets every life choice he made
Yeah.
to lead him to ignore Monica Rambeau. I will not stand for the erasure of Monica Rambeau. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. She was in Secret Wars.
Carol Danvers.
Was not.
Right. That's true.
So-
Secret Wars is the big turning point for everything.
I'm
you know
saying.
what I mean?
So that's my trivia. I
Well,
needed to get this off my chest, Josh.
okay,
and
great.
I've been waiting to share that story on this podcast. I've been on What's on Joe Mind a couple times since then, which, by the way, listeners, if you're hearing this, if you've never listened to our friends What's on Joe Mind, you got to. It's a great show every
Mike
week.
and Rob and Mark.
They're the best. They have me on occasionally as a guest star, time filler, general tomfoolerist. I have saved this story because I needed the right moment.
Nice.
And having you on for a trivia
I'm
is
the
the
guy.
right moment.
I'm the guy.
To tell my story.
And if
And if this guy happens to overhear this,
it was at a comic book shop in Santa Monica, California, that's all I'm going to say.
if a comic book, if this guy happens to hear this,
I just want to say, dude,
Google. Google.
sometimes other people know things. Listen, I don't know everything.
Right.
I'm open to learning. I even questioned myself. I Googled it.
Yeah. You got,
I knew the answer.
And then when it's interesting when you live through these things, like you have this memory of, as Gen X, we lived through all this stuff: Star Wars, G.I. Joe,
Yes.
Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all these, 80s, 90s things. That was like us growing up, either as young kids, teenagers, or in our early 20s. And so when you grow up living that, you know it.
Yes.
You just know it because you grew up with it. And it happens with every single generation.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, whatever generation is now, like, whatever, I don't know what the kids these days are into, but
They're gonna be like,
I
40
remember when Skibbity Toilet first came out. It was not in Technicolor.
right.
It
Exactly.
was in neons.
So arguing with somebody that lived through it and knows it and was there when it came out is a very different argument than having been, like, in the next generations and things like that. You know what I mean? That come out when they weren't even alive when it happened.
It's akin to a modern Star Wars fan saying like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Greedo shot first,
Right.
And your brain, or I'm sorry, Han shot first,
Right.
Or no, Greedo shot first.
Yeah.
It's akin to them going, "No, Greedo always shot," and you're like, "No, he didn't.
No.
He never even got like."
He just got
he
executed.
Han just smoked him.
He just executed him.
Han straight smoked him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, let's let's be real here.
Right,
It's a better time.
But I mean, the special edition's 30 years old now when he changed that.
Right,
So
and it's the only version people have seen.
yeah, it's only people.
My friend Matt shared with me recently some. I guess the original when they first released Empire, it was in a 70 millimeter, 2 theaters, a 70 millimeter print that George. It was like a smaller release, and George saw it some places, and wanted to make a few tweaks here. Nothing crazy,
right?
Nothing crazy, but so copies of that print still are existing, where it's little changes, like little pieces removed, and some dialogue is different, and things like that, because he saw it and he went like, let's make some change. I don't, whatever. An artist is an artist, but let's make some changes. And then they rushed out new prints for the rest of the screening, and then the old prints were supposed to, I guess, destroyed or whatever. But yeah, it was a neat little video, because you're watching it and you're like, yeah, I know this movie backwards and forward, but you watch the same scene and there's just missing dialogue, and you're like, oh yeah, C-3PO's not saying that. That's weird. But there's nothing, there's no crazy edit. It's just different.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just read an article about Disney Plus doing this with Bambi. They lightened the death of Bambi's parents.
Did they really?
In the newer version, somehow, whatever. And it's just the Disney Plus version, of course. If you have a hard VHS or DVD or whatever, it wouldn't be the change. But the actual version that you watch on Disney Plus is, I don't know, somehow they lighten the death.
Physical media, man. Physical media.
Yeah.
That's why.
So, I mean, obviously that changes the whole story.
Yeah,
that changes the whole story regarding Bambi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing with anything that they change, just I mean, Lucas is probably the only filmmaker who's really done a lot of changes and doesn't.
No, he's not the only one, but he's the most brazen about it.
Right.
He was the most brazen.
I mean, there's director's cuts, and then there's changing without telling.
Yeah, and there's changing, there's tweaks, and I get it. Like, there's some, you do test screenings, or famously, and what I like about this is all minutia and trivia, which is we're gonna circle back to your trivia next time.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like there's famously the Kubrick on The Shining, when it first literally first started screening, it had a coda after Nicholson freezes in the snow.
Okay.
There was a whole sequence of Danny and Olive Oil like in safety at a in their apartment in the real world.
Yeah.
And I think Danny's talking to a doctor or something, kind of like the ending of Psycho, a little bit, where the doctor's explaining her. Yeah. So I think it's something like that. Part of me shining heads if I get the details wrong. But it aired, or it was released, and he saw it play in the theaters and he hated it.
Right.
So he literally sent instructions to every physical theater, because this was all film.
Right.
He said, go to frame XYZ
and trim
it from XYZ to XYB, trim that whole section out, and then tag it on, splice it together.
Kubrick had the power to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think he
projectionist would have followed.
Yeah, I think he went, like in New York at least, like went from theater to theater, showing them how to do it.
Right.
Like to make sure that it was right.
Nice.
There's something along those lines. That's kind of the story on that. And so there's always that minutia.
Yeah.
And trivia about things.
That's cool, because I don't know that story.
And G.I. Joe has it. Well, G.I. Joe has it with the Todd McFarlane special.
Yeah.
It's not wildly important in the pantheon of Joe, Joe lore, but it's a whole different Joe adventure that absolutely could have been slotted in and just is different.
I mean, I did a whole study and put it in one of our After Action Report books. A comparison on the page, basically of how Cobra Commander is shot.
Oh yeah,
and just that one image, which of course is a huge turning point in the story of the whole entire G.I. Joe. Not because the Bavaria story in that issue is, we're talking about number 61. Where Stalker, Snow Job, and Quick Kick and Outback are all on a mission, but then yet Fred 7 shoots Cobra Commander in the back, right in front of Billy, and that's apparently the death of Cobra Commander, ordered by Hasbro, that Hama had to put in there.
Yeah.
But when Todd McFarlane drew it compared to Marshall Rogers, who drew it, they're very different outlooks of what it is, and So, I mean, changing things up like that, I mean, in our world today, they do it really easy, but in the past, it was much more difficult. So,
do you remember Cats? When Cats was first released in the theaters, if you saw that,
I did not.
There were unfinished visual effects. So we saw it for opening weekend, because it was going to be such a train wreck, and certainly it was. So the version we saw, Judi Dench's hands were still human.
Really?
They didn't cover them up with the digital, like that layer of Photoshop or whatever the file wasn't right. So then they reissued a file. So she was a Catwoman with absolutely human hands. She still had her wedding ring on, like her normal husband real life wedding ring.
Oh man.
Yeah. So then they saw the error and they fixed it on the fly. So that's what's fun though. I think that's what's fun about collecting, and all this genre stuff where you love something so much you pick it apart, hopefully not in a negative way, but you dissect it because you're fascinated by it, and you wanna learn the history of it. It's what we do with all the toys, like Han Solo with the small head, and then they gave him a bigger head, and Luke with the yellow lightsaber, and then he had the blue lightsaber, and then there's this, and there's the the running changes that they have on product lines, and I know G.I. Joe has a lot of examples of that. Zorana has like 18 different face sculpts, right, or heads, or pink hair stuff, and and that's interesting,
Yeah, and in a sense, I think up until maybe the 90s, they could get away with all those changes and nobody would really know.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you get the people that collect and pay attention to stuff, and then they put it up on the internet, and now it's like archived and everybody knows about it, and it's 30, 40 years later from these things, and it's like, okay, I want this version well known, and they're, you can find them.
It's so much harder. You can find them, and then you can get them without doing a lot of work. You can just pay for them.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons, like when it comes to comics, I don't often get impressed when someone's like, hey, look at this, fill in the blank, detective issue number 43.
Right.
And they're like, I paid $8,000 for it.
Right.
Or whatever the book is. And I'm always like, that's great. You just had the money.
Right.
Now, if you're like, I found this in an attic.
Right.
It
was in my grandma's attic.
Yeah, it was in my grandma's
up in a
attic.
box.
Or there was a house auction, and what I mean? And it was buried under all this stuff, and I found it, and maybe even then, maybe even you still paid good money for it, but it was like there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
You give me that story every day of the week.
Yeah.
They
still find comics.
They do.
All over the place, in attics all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are worth millions of dollars and stuff.
Estate sales, baby.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I love those stories.
Yeah,
I am so much more impressed by that when someone shows a slab and is like,
right,
look at my new, whatever,
my key issue.
Yeah, my key issue, my New Mutants 87, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, you paid a bunch of money for something. Right. Great.
Yeah.
Like I could do that. I mean, I certainly have my books like that too, but I don't tell those stories.
Right.
Like I'm not like, oh man, I paid $2,000 for this, blah blah blah, because I'm just like, it's not interesting.
Yeah.
But I will tell you the story about how I got a raw cover to Green Lantern, Hal Jordan's first appearance.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Okay.
It was at the bottom of a bag of comics that my mom's friend asked me to evaluate for her.
Okay.
And it was trash. Like they were all really trash books. Like they were just not stored well, with time and age and stuff. And this is why I tell everybody, always go through your books. I went through the whole bag, stack, grocery bag, right? The very last thing in the bag on the bottom was the cover to Showcase 22.
Wow.
It didn't have any insides, but it was just it's on my wall around the corner. It was just staring at me, and I'm like, that can't be that book. Because nothing else fit it.
Right.
There was not like Showcase 23 and Showcase.
Right.
No. And it was Hal Jordan with the fighting the yellow airplane and all that stuff. And I was just like, this is awesome. Like that's a great find.
Right.
And so I gave it back to him and was like, this is awesome. If you want, we can try to find someone that has the body and we can marry them up, in a joint venture or two. And then they ended up just giving it to my mom. And so we got it framed on the wall here because it wasn't worth much.
Right.
But it's still the cover to
right.
Showcase 22.
And again, somebody can take that cover and put it on another issue, and then they
then you gotta and that's doable. That's a thing.
And that's another thing our modern age do is they can fix these comics. Pressing and cleaning and fixing them. There's whole services that do that. So kind of to tie back into like how the movies were changing things, that changes comics, the values of comics. You know what I mean? You get them fixed and everything. So
especially because it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
And if they're not, sometimes it's absolutely honest.
Right.
That they don't realize this book has been whatever.
Right.
Like pressing's okay, even cleaning's okay.
Yeah.
But like restapling or something like that, like sometimes you genuinely don't know.
Right.
And as soon as it leaves the hands of the guy that does know,
yeah,
you have
Right.
you'll never.
And you can't. And it's not documentable unless it's actually at the company that does it.
Right.
If that company does it, they document it usually.
Right.
These pressing companies.
Yeah, there's
or
some
whatever.
tells and stuff. But
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Collecting's a dying.
It is.
It's not a dying. No, it's not a dying art, but it's changing. It's not dying. It's changing.
Yeah, I mean, every generation has their thing they want to collect.
Yeah.
And comics is not a new thing,
Right.
and it was not a new
Pokemon
thing
now.
when we started.
Right.
But I think there'll be a generation in the future that will rediscover collecting comics. But comics are one of those things, and toys. You gotta have space.
You do.
If you don't have space,
You
you can't
do.
collect it.
That's
So-
the truth. That is the truth. I have
Yeah.
said many times, I wish my passion was for baseball cards
Right.
because it's a lot more compact.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting to me, and that's why I never cared. But it is a lot more compact. But anyway, your passion is for trivia
And G.I. Joe.
and GI Joe. Your passion is for GI Joe. I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you put together this. You actually edited by a friend of the show, Gary Viola.
Yes. He helped out tremendously.
Yeah,
'cause-
the After Action Report unofficial G.I. Joe guidebooks presents the G.I. Joe Comics Real American Hero T&A book,
I don't have a dirty mind.
trivia and activity book. So, where can they go if someone wants to buy this right now today?
AfterActionReport.net. That's the only place. That's our website.
Mm-hmm.
It should be right on the front page. It's $20, or maybe it's 25. I think it's 25. I think it's going to go down in price by the time this airs.
Okay.
It's that initial rush.
Sure.
Of new people, but so yeah, it'll be $20, and it's a 260 pages, black and white. So if you have a previous After Action Report books, it looks nothing like it. It's 6x9. It's got over 2,000 questions that I wrote that I have no idea actually how many are in there.
So
So
many
I'm waiting
questions.
for somebody to do a count and tell me because I don't know.
So many
I
questions.
just guessed at that 2,000.
And they cover cover all the way through IDW. Do you have Devil's Due stuff?
Yes,
in
in
there
the
too?
back of the book.
Yeah, there it is.
So,
Disavowed,
so
yeah.
the concept of the book is it's real American hero continuity.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes Marvel, and then it goes. This is the like the index order of the book. It goes Marvel, IDW, Skybound with any sub-series per publisher, and then at the back of the book is the Devil's Due, because when Devil's Due came out in 2001, it was 100% real American hero continuity continued. And then it became disavowed when they restarted with 155.
And you've got
So,
at
I
least
felt-
three. You've got at least three questions for each issue.
Yes.
Some up to 4 or 5. I see.
The,
And-
the fun one was to do 21 questions for 21.
Oh boy! Oh, I didn't see that yet. Holy cow!
That one had the most.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
But-
there it is. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna read some. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Okay, get your
And
finger on
we'll,
that
we'll
book.
go. Yeah, we'll go. Yeah. We have listeners. We have a.
So he's quizzing the writer of these questions. So if I get them wrong, then I'm like, oh my god, I better
Yeah.
brush up on the answers.
Yeah.
But
And what we're gonna do, listeners, is we're gonna have fun with Josh right now doing some quizzes. But then we're also actually gonna do a real trivia one where we're not gonna give you the answer to. And listeners, if the first person to email me at joeandjoepod@gmail.com with the answer to the whatever we'll get there to that trivia question, you'll win a copy of this. And we're going to record some for the next few episodes. We're going to have some Josh Eggebeen trivia
Nice.
segments. So we're going to be giving these away all summer long. So
Right.
stay tuned to the show and listen early and spread the word if you want to get your own copy of the After Action T&A book.
So one thing about when he reads the questions is that there's a number and a letter. So the number is the issue number,
Yep.
not the question number. So if he says like 121, that's Marvel 121 or 215 or whatever, ABC, whatever. And then so that's how the book is organized. And the questions, like if it's the Storm Shadow series and the Devil's Due, it's 1 to 7. You know what I mean? So it's like
we'll
there's-
get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so the
I think
audience
they'll
knows,
catch on.
especially when they
Josh,
have to
they'll
answer
catch
the
on.
questions
I
themselves.
have the smartest audience in all of G.I.
then they're
Joe
going to know all
podcasts.
these. So you better get
The
ready to
smartest
have this
and the most
fast
attractive
priority overnight
and
shipping for your boxes.
beautiful smart, funny, and witty audience in all of G.I. Joe podcasting, so I think they're going to get it. So we're going to start with one of the early ones. We're going to start with one of the early issues for you here, Josh. Let's go to issue number... We'll start with issue number 1. We'll just start with issue number. Might as well. I got a bunch on the page here for me.
Yeah.
Let me make sure.
We got to do one from each.
Yeah.
Era.
Okay, and I got the answers here too. Okay, here we go.
And there's you got the bookmark. We have these really cool bookmarks created by Jamie Sullivan that will come with your free book.
Friend of the show.
So you can
Man
use
About Town, Jamie Sullivan.
You can use the bookmarks in that. That's why we gave them out.
Okay. G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 1. This should be pretty easy.
Hopefully.
Well, I know you know the answer.
I should know the answer to every question in the book.
Technically, you should know the answer, but this will be an easy one.
Yeah.
What Joe is named on a computer screen but never seen, and then recently finally revealed?
Shooter. After Jim Shooter, and then her name is Jodie Craig.
We all know that one. All right, issue 10.
Did you hit the button?
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, hold on.
Because I got it right.
Wait. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Issue 10.
1 for 1.
Scarlet, Zap, and Snake Eyes are captured. To what fictional town are they taken?
That would be Springfield. Now, knowing the state is a true deep cut. And that would have been Connecticut.
Did they ever name the state?
They did in a roundabout way later.
How? Do you remember?
In the issues where later on when Destro is... the cover with Destro in the APC, and he's there. They say it's near New York City and upstate or north of, and then I think in some subsequent material somewhere else, I forget. Connecticut.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is like Dawn Marino was born in Springfield, Illinois, on her file card, and she's a big character, and there's other Springfields. So Springfield for Cobra is in multiple places around the country.
What major machine makes its first appearance in issue 10?
That's a great question. Brainwave Scanner, which is 328, just came out, and it's a huge part of that story. So 328 issues later, they're still...
Spoiler alert, what's the Easter egg? What's the Easter egg? All right, so we're gonna. Those are easy, right? But we've all read those early issues a ton.
Yes.
You said you had 21 questions for issue 21.
Okay.
So we've all read this a million times.
Give me the letter.
It is issue number 21. Are they in any order of difficulty or no?
No, I think they're actually for that one. They might have been in sequential order to the story.
What does Scarlet initially use to escape her bonds?
Hairpin.
Awesome. You got it.
I don't know if you can hear the pages moving, but he's moving the pages when he goes through. All right, I'm 3 for 3.
Okay, 3 for 3. All right, now
let's get out of Marvel.
Let's get out of those early days.
Let's get out of Marvel.
Let's get. Oh, you want to get out of Marvel?
Well, yeah. I mean, how many questions are we doing?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, we still got IDW and Devil's Due to go, and Skybound. So we got 4 other eras. If you look at the tabs on the side of the book, this was a clever thing that I did that we did in our After Action Report comic guidebooks. But this one, they go in a line down the spine of the book, and you can flip from one to another.
Issue 108.
Okay.
What fictional country is Lieutenant Falcon leading a mission to?
Benzenia, or trans. Well, he's in Trucial Abizia,
Trucial Abysma,
and then he's going to
that's a tough one, but I believe you are correct. Trucial Abysmia,
yes.
You are correct. Way to go. Well, let's get through that. Okay.
All right, I'm doing good.
All right, well, I mean,
100% so far.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump to. There we go. Issue 232, IDW.
This is where it gets hard because I'm like,
yeah, this is the stuff. I gotta be honest. I've only read these literally one time.
Yeah, I've not. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you what happened in 232, but I can certainly probably remember when you read me the question.
Yeah.
But that's one of the cool things about this book is that those issues that. Like people don't really know the deep parts of the story. Like you're saying, we're going through the Marvel ones where everybody kind of knows the deep ones.
Who does Storm Shadow meet for the very first
issue
232? Issue 232.
What letter?
A.
A. Okay.
Why does that matter?
Because A, B, C, D, or whatever.
Yeah, but you don't.
Anyway.
You remember it?
No, but that's how I organized the book. So
Who does Storm Shadow meet for the very first time at his rooftop New York City water tower hideout?
Don Marino.
Man, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, that's a big moment in those comics, right?
Yeah,
for those two to meet, because guess what he does?
You know what's funny?
He asks her questions about Snake Eyes.
Oh.
And Snake Eyes answers with a voice that only Storm Shadow would know. So he doesn't get like some silent reaction.
Ooh,
he gets her talking.
Here's one I would not have guessed in a million years.
Okay.
Issue 241.
Okay.
Number C.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Who dies?
241. The answer.
Who dies?
Oh, Pale Pony. Pale Peony.
No. Hold on. Wow. Sneak peek.
Oh.
Chubby himself.
Again.
Oh, right, that's right.
There was a whole huge drama on that story.
Yeah.
Because he died in the Marvel run very dramatically, and then
Larry
he the artist accidentally drew him in there, and then let Hama, due to fan backlash, was like, "Oh, I have to figure this out," and then he put him back in the story as alive, and then killed him again. But I mean, it's that whole continuity stuff that fans love, and that artists and creators don't always know. You know what I mean? But the fans know.
Okay.
See, I didn't remember that one.
Last one from this era. What falsehood? Issue 262, question A.
Okay.
What falsehood does Cobra Commander believe?
That Throwdown is the real Snake Eyes, technically classified as.
You are correct, sir. Same issue. Who gets a new leg, courtesy of Dr. Mindbender and Dr. Claire Hauser?
Alpine.
Sightline.
Oh.
Sightline. Did Alpine get a new leg?
He got legs in the IDW continuity.
He got his legs blown off?
In the IDW continuity, yeah. He had fake legs in the IDW. So I got my continuities.
Man,
I don't remember.
I'm telling you, I've not reread a single IDW since they came out.
Yeah.
So my knowledge
it was
is
like a laser or something.
Really?
I think. Yeah, it just sliced him off. Then he had those, those.
They butchered our boy Alpine.
Those sprint legs. He had those.
I don't remember that at all. I'm so excited to get the new hardcovers because I'll go back and I absolutely will go back and reread all of them. But man, I have not reread any of them.
They don't have any plans for the IDW continuity.
Oh, this isn't. Wait,
that was the IDW, not the Marvel or the IDW Real American Hero era. It's the.
This was IDW Real American Hero in your book.
Yes, but the answer for Alpine that I got incorrect. Sightline is the correct answer in the Real American Hero continuity.
But I confused IDW.
I confused it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I definitely don't remember that.
Yeah.
They need to do that other stuff. They need to do one more compendium.
I think they got to give it more time.
Maybe, but do one more compendium set where it collects everything else. Just call it G.I. Joe Everything Else. And you collect the Dark Horse stuff.
I think
the Devil's Due stuff.
They got to do the Action Force. British UK. They did it for the Transformers.
Do as much Action Force as you can.
Yeah.
Do the Devil's Due. Do the Dark Horse. Do all of the IDW secondary stuff. The Cobra and all that those eras and the Mask and the crossovers and Energons. Or not Energon, I guess.
Hasbro Universe.
They need to do that third one, and maybe not for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Give it a little breathing room. All right. Last question.
All right, so that's two I've missed. That's two I've missed.
Yeah, but that's all right though. Those were tough.
Yeah, they were tough.
Definitely wouldn't. So when I were in the Disavowed universe,
it was the go to Skybound. It's the really skinny little tab that you see
at the end.
No, it's in the middle. You see, there's a skinny, really skinny one because there's not that many.
So we do have some Skybound in here.
Yeah, all the way up to 325.
Okay, great. So
that's where we ended.
All right. Okay, we'll do some Skybound here. Issue number 318. Question number A of Skybound. Get to my answers here. Which two G.I. Joes infiltrate the sewers of Springfield?
Storm Shadow and Dawn.
3, 8,
Don Marino.
You are correct, sir.
I got it.
You are correct, sir. Okay.
Thank you for the applause. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're talking about. That's the
we didn't do a
after-action
Devil's
report.
Due. Let's do a Devil's
okay,
Due.
we're gonna do, okay. We're gonna get to
because
Devil's
that's
Due.
a key part of the G.I. Joe history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those.
Okay, G.I. Joe declassified, disavowed.
Okay.
Okay, so put your brain there.
So that's the G.I. Joe
Issue-
series.
Yeah, issue number 2.
Okay.
Question B. Where was Breaker first discovered? I'm assuming
At MIT,
Oh.
learning, doing some kind of code thing or something, or doing something illegal. That,
You answered so fast I didn't even get a chance to look up the answer here. Well, let's take a look. Sort of no.
Sort of no.
No, you don't actually mention MIT in the answers. I can't give it to you. But after joining the Army, he starts decrypting top secret messages.
Oh, I could have said that.
Yeah, his love of communication brings him to the attention of Agent Provost. Then Hawk tests Breaker with a run, and he passes, impressing Hawk.
See, it's a long ass answer, and
It's a long-ass answer, and all you said was MIT. MIT. That's all right. So, listeners, this is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to sit around and make your fellow G.I. Joe friends feel lesser.
Yes.
Excuse me,
the-
bro.
yes, that guy's
bro,
voice.
You're not going to be right with MIT, bro.
The quick answer that I use for this book is that it's a fun resource. So
Yeah,
you're
it
never
really
going to
is.
know every question, but
No.
if you go through the book enough, you will, and then you'll really know all the G.I. Joe stories
Yeah.
and every little detail from the main points of every comic are in those questions.
Yeah, and for real, like the question about the legs, like I don't even remember
Right.
that character. Again, I haven't
Right.
read those for so long. But
Right.
like if I were reading that, I'd be like, oh, someone got their legs replaced. Let me go check that issue out. Like, what
Right.
happened
Who
in
is
that?
Sightline?
Yeah, who is Sightline? Well, let me go check that issue out. So that's awesome. So I think-
Sightline has an amazing story behind the creation of that character with Gary Goggles Head, was a huge member of our GI Joe community, and they made a toy of him, and then the Declassified group made another toy of him, and then Hama put him in the comic as Sightline, but didn't there. And
Oh,
so
I
that's
didn't know
a fan's. He passed away like shoveling snow. I had a heart
Oh, my
attack and was a
gosh.
big part of our community for a
Oh,
long
I
time.
didn't know that. That's amazing.
And you know, it's like one of those tragic things. And so then Mark Weber of What's on Joe Mind
Yeah.
was in charge of the toy line
Honcho.
at the time, and he put Gary's. The character's name is called Gary Goggles, and
Uh-huh.
it's Sightline on the file card of the figure that they were
Amazing.
doing, and then Hama put him in there.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a really good story behind Sightline.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So, listeners, go to afteractionreport.net.
.net. Yep.
.net. Check this out. Order it. And also, as we're talking, tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter you're in the middle of right now.
So this is the big issue for us. That's the conclusion of our series of character guidebooks called Command Files, Volume 3, Cobra. So it's all the Cobra characters. I probably broke the mic there. But it's all the Cobra characters. It's going to be over 200 characters, of course, because there's every Viper, Cobra Soldier vehicle that doesn't have any appearance anywhere are still going to be in there. And
And listeners, if you're unfamiliar with the Command Files, what that is that's taking a look at every member of the Joe team. The first 2 volumes did. And it said if they were really a real unit that existed today, what type of special missions teams would they be on? Would these guys be, these 6 people would be on an Arctic team. These 6 people would be Delta Force. These people would be, SEAL Team 6 kind of a thing. And it organizes them in a nice, like, understandable flow chart kind of way, and it groups them. So you get to read their dossiers and read all about them, but then it also builds this world of like, oh, I could see these 6 dudes or 5 people or whatever, 18 people joining together to do Arctic battles because they're on the Arctic team, kind of a thing.
Yep. That was the first 2 volumes.
Yeah, and that is brainchild of
Greg Augustin.
yes, a friend of the show, Greg Augustin. Wonderfully detailed work, and we were on him like, you got to do Cobra now, and there was a look of defeat that was on his face, and I can't wait to read it. The thing with Cobra is, though, there's not as many named people, so it's just vipers.
Cobra, it's a terrorist organization, so they have all kinds of different things. So this is the true challenge that Greg has solved, as so in the first 2 volumes, as Joe was saying, they're organized in a way, and he used the Senator Wendy Ling Torres from the Cobra World Order book, where she put together a Senate report on G.I. Joe, and he used that as the structure for both books, as like the intros for the different squads. So now Greg is using a report from Chuckles and Mercer to Hawk as the structure of what, kind of like the intros of like Iron Grenaders and Commanders and the Vipers. And so they both had that kind of thing. So he's structuring it that way, and he's writing it that way. And of course, on each page there's like a Mercer's intel, and then the intros are all Chuckles talking to Hawk.
Awesome.
So that's kind of the structure of the book. And for Cobra, there's probably about 30, maybe 40 really named characters that have any meaning.
Right.
And the rest are either named characters that have very little appearances anywhere, or they're just a Viper or a vehicle driver. And again, the book is structured based off file cards. So if they have a file card, then they get a more of a notice. We do often list characters that don't have file cards, but that's the concept of the book, is based off file cards. And one of the things that we're doing is we're listing all the toys, Vipers. Like in the 2000s, there's a whole ton of new Vipers nobody cares about that have never appeared anywhere but the toy. So we're like listing those and putting those in.
It's super comprehensive. It's really
more crammed on a page, because there's nothing else other than the file card information.
It's a fun read, and it's a step up from the traditional official handbook of the Marvel Universe, where it was just alphabetical.
Yeah,
it's saying, let's take the alphabetical and shuffle those cards a little bit,
correct,
and put a little bit of world building around them, but still, here are these file cards for all these characters and
there's no toy references, but there are comic references, media references, movies, cartoons, and stuff like that. And the really cool aspect of the Cobra book is that it will look different. There's some carryovers, but ultimately it's a different organization, so we've redesigned the book, and that's part of the process of what we're doing. At this point now, the campaign would be funded, and we are into stretch goals when this airs, and I'm going to list some of the stretch goals. So the first stretch goal was our artist is Mark Pennington, who has done the first 2 covers, and he will do a third one, and it will be connecting. So we have 3 wraparound covers that all connect, and we are actually going to do a poster. But the first stretch goal is prints of that. The second stretch goal is everybody gets a print of all the command file things. If they had them before, then they get them again. We actually are going to redo a couple of them. Greg is going to be doing Cobra heads, because Greg is a great artist of himself. The fourth stretch goal, this one's the poster. It's going to be a poster. I'm going to try to see if I can get it 8x33, which would be all 3 prints together. The fifth stretch goal is more of the covers, the sketch and black and whites that Mark did, so you can see the changes. And then the sixth stretch goal is going to be a new dust jacket. If you have the previous ones, you have a dust jacket V1 and a dust jacket V2. There's going to be a dust jacket V3 that would come with every book that Jamie Sullivan is going to do again. This time he's going to put the Cobra characters on the back.
Cool.
So that's our stretch goals up to around 30,000. If we blow off the doors, I might make up a couple more.
Yeah, but, and there's no one more generous with stuff like this, with stretch goals and prints and color prints for you to put on your wall, frame and look cool on the wall and everything. Bookmarks and everything. Your Kickstarters are always chock full of those things. So, and we appreciate it.
Every book we've made has, minus the trivia book, has original art. Right. So it's like worth it to give that art out as a like a virgin print or whatever, because it's all great stuff. I mean, like Volume 3, Larry Hammond drew, the Snake Eyes, Stalker, and Storm Shadow under a Huey in Vietnam.
It's a great
and
drawing.
It's a
Yeah,
great
it's a great-
cover,
it's a great-
and he
it's
just
a
did
great
that for
cover.
us.
Yeah,
and
really
it's
cool.
like, okay, you know, I mean, so we have, and Blaylock did Volume 2, you know, and so, like I said, Mark Pennington has now done all 3
Yeah.
for Command Files.
So
and they
listeners, if you're hearing this, go to Kickstarter, search for After Action Report or Command Files. or either
Command
one.
Files is better,
Yeah.
but you can do After Action Report, that's entitled, or G.I.
Yeah,
Joe.
and you'll
but,
find it, you'll see it.
Yeah.
And also, I'm assuming on like most Kickstarters, you can order older books with your
Yes.
Kickstarter. You can order older books that you may have
Yes.
missed.
And
So-
if you do that, those will mail right away.
Yeah.
Of course, Command Files 3 will probably be finished by the end of the year, ship or be printed in January 2027, and then arrive, 6-8 months from now.
All right. So now, before we start the show, we're going to do the question.
Okay.
And this is a trivia question, you listeners. No, now, here's the deal. I know all of you can Google it.
Right.
As I said, sir, I purchased that book myself.
But
I know.
But we're going to challenge you.
I Googled a lot of these questions, and Google couldn't even get them.
Really.
Because
Okay.
the summaries that are online aren't necessarily complete, and Google couldn't find it,
Yeah.
find the answer.
So we're going to ask you to, play nice, play fair.
Okay.
But if you know the answer to this, email me at joeonjoepod@gmail.com. Just put something like trivia, in the headline, and include the answer to this question. It's from issue 87. It's question number C. So G.I. Joe Real American Hero Marvel Comics issue number 87C. Who leads the Cobra assault on Destro's castle? Don't say it, Josh. This is for the listeners. So who? Don't say it, Josh. Don't say it, Josh. And the answer is not Irving Forbush. So who leads the Cobra assault on Destro's castle from G.I. Joe number 87? If you email me with the correct answer, first one I see, we'll send you a copy of the book.
And remember, it's 87 because they assault Destro's castle several times.
Yeah,
throughout
issue
this
87. Yeah, issue
so
87.
if you answer it from one of the Ninja Force eras, it's
yeah.
the wrong answer.
Yeah, and then we're going to have some more trivia questions as the summer goes on because I got a handful of books to give away. So we'll just do one an episode, and we'll get these in people's hands. So that's exciting. Josh, are you ready to watch G.I. Joe Renegades issue episode number 9,
am.
Enemy of My Enemy?
This was fun last time we did this. I'm glad to be doing it
Yeah,
again.
we're gonna have
Thank
a lot
you
of
for
fun.
inviting.
It's a cool episode in that like it moves the plot, but I don't know if I like it.
I saw it a long time ago. I haven't seen it since, so
we'll get into it. I got some thoughts on it. It's well executed, but I got some thoughts. And so, listeners, call up your episodes, whether DVDs or on YouTube, or we are watching the full spectrum with the credits and everything in it for timing wise. So get ready to watch it, and we'll start. Here we go. Okay, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, which one of you jokers ordered the
We've
300
got,
pounds of beef stroganoff?
Roadblock, a Tunnel Rat carrying a giant box of what he says is 300 pounds of beef stroganoff. It's a lot of beef stroganoff.
Breaker's intel placed Mindbender in this building. We grab him.
Meanwhile,
and force him to tell the
Duke
truth
and
about the
Scarlet
Springfield lab.
are breaking into the rooftop, and Snake Eyes has already broken it.
What do you mean he's not here?
We ain't leaving till we get a signature.
I like the ass pats.
Oh yeah, look at that
That's fun.
little Cobra symbol,
Yeah.
hidden, sneaking underneath that.
They're going to try to kidnap or get information out of Dr. Mindbender at this location, whatever this building is. They don't really this episode really gets right into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then for seemingly no reason, Scarlet endangers their lives. Right?
Yes, by
I mean-
accident.
Like
That didn't work.
she says it doesn't need to be a waste. Throws a mine on an antenna thing, which
Yeah.
then collapses for
Falls
no
off.
reason.
Falls off the building, and now they gotta escape from the top
Right,
of the
so, like,
building.
I don't understand.
Here come the credits.
I don't understand why do that. And let's
Was it a radio
remove it.
tower?
Yeah, but remove it from the realm of, it's a cartoon, all that stuff. But like,
The insidious enemy that is
they
Cobra.
weren't going to be able to complete their mission. And no one knew they were there.
Right.
So now they draw attention to themselves, and now they have to escape off of a building. For
I
no
guess that's
really good.
storytelling for you.
Well, that's the answer that I don't. That doesn't. That I'm not going to settle for. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like
No.
So right off the gate, I was a little like, what's going on with this episode? Like, because Scarlett's smart. Scarlett's not that. Like that just seems like a dumb thing to do.
Yeah. Now they're trapped on.
Right. So now they're trapped. Snake Eyes has to rescue them with a smoke bomb, escape kind of a thing. They're running away on a rope, and it's a cool scene, cool action scene. They swing to the next building, which is under construction.
And there's what do they call that vehicle? Do they have a name for it?
I think they named it. I don't really remember what it's called, but it's like the Cobra transport thing that has 3D effects.
Yeah, the undercover.
Yeah, and
G.I. Joe.
And all of that has nothing to do with the plot.
No, it doesn't.
That literally, and that's what I'm saying, why it's silly, is nothing to do with the plot. It was just to give them some action. So now we go to inside of Cobra headquarters, and we see Cobra Commander, Dr. Mindbender, and some random dude with the giant snake.
Perhaps you can explain why you logged into
Is
this
that supposed to be
website
some kind of
17
python?
times in the
Yeah.
past month.
Well, I wonder if the guys who made the Snake Eyes movies watched this episode. I'm not even joking.
Whoa.
Because a giant snake just ate someone. By the way, that new pet's got a great name. We're going to find it out later. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I do like the Cobra Commander mask in this one. It kind of works, he shows one eye, this slant face.
This show was put out around the first movie, right? So they're trying to get the vibe of the first movie.
I think
it was like a couple years before. It was the same era. It's the same era. So we get Destro here. He's not Destro yet. He's still just balding James McCullen.
Yeah.
Play nice, James.
And
Dr. Bender
this
is one
whole
of Cobra's-
episode, they play him small. Like he's not Destro.
Right. Has he appeared in his mask before this? Or
No, he gets his mask in this episode, but like, he's just like, you see it as it goes. They're treating him like they treated him in the first movie,
right?
Which is a subservient to Cobra Commander,
right?
I don't like that as Destro.
No,
I want Cobra where there's two super strong dudes,
right?
One with nothing to lose, and one with it being Cobra Commander. It's his passion, right?
Right, because like in the comics, they're close to equal.
Oh yeah,
and for a little bit in the cartoon, they're close to equal.
Very much so in the cartoon,
yeah.
they were equals. Like it was always like back and forth.
Right.
It wasn't as layered as it is in the comics. I think because the nature of the thing.
Right.
But this is just like,
hey, who's the voice?
Clancy Brown.
What?
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, he's in a lot of good stuff. I don't know why I remember his name up there.
And now they have the Mindbender just explained the name for Destro, and it's a negative in this case versus in the other universes it's a positive.
Yeah,
like he's a destroyer. Like he wears the mask because he's powerful because he has no allegiance and blah blah blah.
It's his family company.
This is a shame now, which is. And you'll see it as the show goes along.
Right.
And that's what it was in the movie. Like he got hit with the nanites and they like ruined his face and whatever.
Right.
It was a torture for him instead of Destro's.
Do you remember the actual opening scene of Rise of the Cobra? The very first opening scene?
The first movie?
Yeah, the first movie.
Yeah, it was his ancestor getting punished, like Man in the Iron Mask.
Get the mask.
Right. Yeah. So then they took it as a source of pride.
Right.
How dare you do that to our family?
Really, I don't think had appeared in comic stories or anything. I think it was more of a movie creation.
Yeah, which I think is great.
Right.
And it still shows our Destro, our modern Destro, as being powerful.
Yeah.
The way they play it in this is he's just an underling in this whole episode.
Right.
I'm like, now maybe it's because they want to give him some place to go on the show. Like maybe who knows? By the time we get to the final episode of this show, maybe he's like bad, awesome.
Right.
Like I don't know. So I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. But what they've tasked them to do is they've tasked Destro to combine his robotics with Mindbender's Toxo gooey vipers. We met his
Right.
gooey vipers on a previous episode.
Yeah, I remember
So-
that. I think that's one of the episodes that
It might have
the
been,
one I
yeah.
did.
So
Yeah.
now we're combining the two to make this like Robo Viper, Toxo Viper thing, and it's
But rage effects still present. Future bio-vipers were brainless.
Bio Vipers. That's what it is.
Bios. Yeah.
My creations come complete with
but
a synthetic neural
Destro's
processing compound.
armor was causing the soldiers who wear it to go rage and get angry, which we did see in a previous episode.
Right.
So they haven't conquered the rage yet. So now this combo Viper is going
Designed
nuts.
to stimulate a fight-or-flight instinct within the brain.
Yeah. So it's all a cluster. Think of you know what this is reminiscent of. I mean, some of this is it's not terrible, but some of this is reminiscent of RoboCop. Like Ed 209,
yeah.
you know, Ed 209,
Yeah.
when they bring him in the boardroom and they're like, look,
Look,
he can
and
do
then he
everything.
shoots
Drop
the
the
shit
gun.
out of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, drop the gun. And he never drops the gun. Like that kind of a thing. Like,
Not burying, storing. This may look like a garbage barge, but it's actually a Cobra
I mean,
weapons transport.
oh, that's fun.
I gotta say that anytime you hear Clancy Brown's voice, like, he's just got such a good voice for
Oh, he's great.
bad guys
Yeah.
and good guys.
Oh,
and
now who's
whatever.
that?
Toxo Viper?
Who do we think that is? That dude's
It'd
that
be
dude's
Scrap
face was
Iron,
scarred up.
probably.
It could be Scrap Iron. Yeah.
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 Could be.
So basically, Mindbender has a giant garbage scow that he hides all this toxic stuff at.
Right.
So of course that's going to come into play.
Breaker's whistleblower send you this?
And this is the record. Now they also keep referencing Breaker, which I do dig.
Yeah.
We met him in an earlier episode.
And he's got a British accent.
Yeah, and he's running this website. he's running this, anti-Cobra website.
Yep.
Let me ask another question. This leads us to Mindbender how?
Who cares? If we can serve up a little Cobra payback, I say, hand me a spoon.
I really do like Tunnel Rat on this show. I think
Yeah.
Tunnel Rat's great.
He's like the humor.
He is the humor, and he's like kind of like the voice of reason at times, and like, boy, that's so that happened kind of a guy.
Right.
Like, yeah, which is fun. Snake Eyes a step ahead of everybody as usual.
I don't like he clicks something and Scarlet understands the answer. It's like, okay, I've always wondered how Snake Eyes really communicate because, like, in the comics, it could have been very easy to do sign language.
Well, they do in the first couple of couple issues,
and
then they give up entirely.
Yeah, and I think a couple times he's had some kind of wrist thing or something, but like he should have like a voice communicator or something.
Well, the answer is just ASL, and the answer is they all should be super fluent, or at least the people that are close to him should
Right.
be super fluent in ASL.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not the case here. It's not what's happening.
No.
But this Bio Viper has escaped now, and it's kind of this like a think of the Dianoga from Star Wars, the trash compactor thing.
Yeah,
I think that's the vibe they're going for here.
Hit those pop guns down there, we all pop.
And so it's attacking the Joes. It's definitely a Star Wars riff on the Dianoga. It comes up from underground with a bunch of guns. It's shooting at the Joes.
Better idea. Aim for the weapons.
You want to blow us up?
If we can't have the evidence, neither will
This is
Cobra.
also the plot of Daredevil. Daredevil Born Again Season 2, a giant weapons barge in New York.
Yeah. About a decade before.
Yeah, right.
A decade before
2
the
decades,
show
20 years
and
before,
after,
yeah.
after the comic.
Right. So the barge
And you
blows
thought
up.
This barge had nothing to do with Mindbender.
Well,
Nothing.
I'll say this, Scarlet. Just because Cobra has a weapons barge doesn't mean the Mindbender's involved.
Right.
It appears our whistleblower has resurrected himself.
Cobra Commander's great. But they're definitely doing the Joseph Gordon-Levitt vibe, which I was never a fan of. But that's what they're doing. They're trying to get some synergy going. You want that, like, you're never going to get one-to-one, right, between the cartoon and a movie at the time, right? But you want to get a vibe that's similar so that kids would be like, oh, I see what's going on.
And like, I think that's where Hasbro generally has not done a very good job of being able to figure out how to connect like a movie and a cartoon and a comic and be all synergy. They were good with, like, in the Marvel era, giving it to Hama and then Hama putting it in the comic with the correct artwork and everything. It worked that way, but it doesn't work the other way. You know what I mean? Where like, I guess, with Baroness, who's on the screen now, she would be a comic character first, and then a toy, and then everything else. But when they made the toy, they put her in the black leather, and she wasn't in black leather originally.
Right.
And then he had to convert her in the comic to the black leather.
Right. Yeah.
Give her all the surgery and everything like that for being blown up in the his tank. So even she had to do that. And then now
Hama had to give her a facial glow up.
Yeah, exactly.
She was unattractive in this first 12 issues.
Yeah. She was badass, but
she was great. But
wasn't
they
the Baroness
purposely
that
drew her.
became.
They drew her like the remember from Special Missions that really big bushy terrorist lady. That's
Sally.
That's hunkered down in the convenience store. Yeah, that's kind of.
That was in the
a more slender version of her. That's kind of how they drew her in the first few episodes.
That was in the
issues.
Yeah. That was in the number 50 story.
So Joes are visited by a think Deep Throat, Richard Nixon, Deep Throat, Watergate stuff. A guy meets him. He's wearing a mask, foreshadowing. It's Destro.
Yeah, because of Clancy Brown's voice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not fooled by it. Not Clancy Brown's voice. But it is a full map of how to foil biovipers.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah, Duke's suspicious.
It's reckless. I've seen this with troops in combat. They do some damage to the enemy.
Yeah,
I
think
they think they're invincible.
Between this issue, I keep saying issue. This episode and like the last one too. Scarlett's a little.
How is chopping down a communications tower?
I like it when Scarlett's like the best.
Right.
She's a little maybe angry or something. She's a little off in these. Like she makes mistakes. Like Duke's the best in this. Duke's the one that's always right, and she's the one that maybe doesn't go far enough or goes a little too far. And I don't know. I like my Scarlett to be like.
Yeah, I said this on the last time we watched this, is that I don't like to see G.I. Joe as like the small team fighting against the big Cobra. Larry Hama's done it. Almost every version of comics have at least touched on it at some point where Cobra takes over, or they're working with the government and G.I. Joe's on the bottom end.
Yeah,
I never liked those stories.
Well,
I like it when G.I. Joe's equal or ahead of Cobra. I mean, that's kind of the whole point. I mean, it's okay for a couple characters, but ultimately, like, in the whole concept of this show is that they're on the bottom.
It's also depressing because, like, all the schemes that they have Cobra doing on this Renegade show, it is really happening in our real life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
There's obviously not biovipers, but there's so many of their schemes where they're like, yeah, we run all the Walmarts in the world. Like, oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Like we're doing this. We're doing this to try to bilk you out of your money, and you're like, oh no, that's actually something that's really happening.
Right.
Like,
well, who's to say some country out there isn't building robots that will end up fighting the humans?
Well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm there for that. Yeah, that's just
not bio,
Skynet
but
stuff.
The
robot. But like, the non-sci-fi craziness of these shows, all the normal everyday way that they've wormed their way into society.
Yeah.
That has happened.
Yeah.
Name the corporation, Amazon or Tesla or whatever the giant massive corporation is, Target, that has wormed their way into society just like Cobra has on the show.
Yeah.
So now we think Mindbender has solved the problem. He's putting the chip inside the BioViper's head instead of kind of solving it from the inside out instead of from the outside in. And they're better. They're already ducking, which is good.
Yeah.
I think also with this show too this is very much a Cobra episode, in the sense of like Cobra's the
main story,
and they're kind of winning. So I think that's what's turning me off on this one too. Like the Joes are just reacting and fighting instead of like, hey, they're on a mission. You know?
I mean, it's the whole point of the good guys with bad guys. When you make the bad guys win all the time, then the audience is generally not that in favor of the bad guys always win. Okay,
and they gotta win. They gotta win sometimes.
Yeah,
but, keep it interesting. But
right.
So
it's kind of like the second act is okay for the bad guys to win, but the third act, the good guys gotta win.
Yeah. Yeah. So Destro here, thinking that he sabotaged Mindbender's stuff, now is bringing in his troopers in his gear, thinking that and it's just totally out of RoboCop.
Yeah.
This is, I have my Ed 209 solution, and then the other guys are like, no, scooch over. We got RoboCop. You know, we're gonna save Detroit with RoboCop.
Oh no! Look how tunnel ran.
My highly trained Iron Grenadiers and my
Oh, and he calls them Iron Grenadiers.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yes. That's a great toy comic reference in this non-toy comic. Well, I guess they made toys of this, didn't they?
They definitely did a line of Renegades, and they look pretty good close to the show. I don't know if they did like an Iron Grenadier like that.
Right.
It would make sense if they did, but I don't know. But I know they did versions of all the main guys under Renegades.
And to my knowledge, there was not even like mini comics or anything related comic-wise to this, like a promo comic or anything in Renegades.
Yeah.
I think they at one point solicited that they might make some. And I've seen the solicits way back when, but I don't think the comics ever came out.
Yeah. So Destro was feeling himself, and he basically gave Cobra Commander an ultimatum, saying, "Look, my guys are working properly, so you're going to cut me in on, you know, hefty fee, and I'm going to be cock of the walk." And now we see that Cobra Commander knew that Mindbender had a solution, which I think he called them Mecha Vipers, I think was the word, Mecha Vipers.
Something just like that, yeah.
And what it is it's the blue goo Bio Vipers over the suits, not under or inside the suits, but they actually cover the suits entirely.
Oh. And now the Bio Viper got blown off?
Yeah, but then the blue goo comes
back.
So they're basically the chassis of Destro's Iron Grenadiers work as a skeleton.
Yeah.
For these Mecha Vipers, which is, I love all these ideas. This is really cool.
Yeah.
You know? I really do like that part of it.
And it kind of fits into the scheme of what Cobra Commander or Dr. Mindbender would come up with in a different, world.
Yeah.
He tells me everything.
And we see here that,
especially the details of your extracurricular activities.
So he knew they were following Destro the whole time when Destro gave the secrets to G.I. Joe. And this is the part where I'm like, Destro's getting played.
Yeah.
Like Destro's the man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But he did always, in between. He's always somehow in between.
Well, but by his own choice, though.
Yeah.
He sometimes he's like, I need to be more honorable. I need to do, I need to live with honor.
Yeah.
So he'll switch sides because like what you did was terrible.
Right.
But like this is just him losing.
Yeah.
And again, maybe in 10 episodes he flips it and is like, I'm awesome. But like you see how it's going in the Skybound comics today?
Right.
Like he's his own dude. Like Cobra Commander's strong.
Right.
But also Destro's strong too.
Yeah.
And Destro thinks he's taking Cobra over, but Cobra Commander thinks he's doing this.
Uh-huh.
Did you catch what the name of that snake was?
The Cobra.
No.
Oh.
Serpentor.
Oh, no. Did they?
Yeah.
Did he just call him that?
Yeah, his giant snake is named Serpentor.
Nice.
So like, you can do both of them being strong in their own way and still have them at odds.
Yeah.
And this is just making the choice to make him subservient to Cobra Commander, which is kind of what they did in the movie.
Right.
So I get why they're doing this.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my favorite brand of Cobra.
No.
I like it when they're both strong because then there's just always this friction, within friction.
Yeah. And, it's funny is because in the trivia and activity book, I have a little sub story. I said, why can't the bad guys get along? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a comic trope and it's a bad guy trope. The bad guys can never get along, and it's always their undoing.
Well, they typically don't.
Yeah.
I mean, look at modern politics.
Right.
The bad guys don't get along very well,
no.
and they turn on each other.
Yeah.
Because they're always out for each other.
Right.
They're always out for themselves.
Yeah.
And eventually, your interests will cross with my interests.
Right.
But you're the president, so you get your way.
Yeah.
Well, I've just sacrificed all my good standing in whatever society to support you.
Right.
And now you just screwed me over.
Yeah.
Or you fired me, or you did something. So then I'm vermin, but I'm still going to be against you now. Or actually, he might have just said his name. Actually,
yeah, he just said it.
Spoiler alert! I jumped the gun there. But yeah, it's Serpentor.
He called him Spenter there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So that's the idea. Is like You show me where a bunch of dudes who are kind of a-holes get along really well.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it ain't going to last long.
Right. It doesn't. And, that's bad guys just can't get along. And, that's always the thing with the Destro's got his head.
Punishment, Cobra Commander puts this metal mask on him. Yep. Using screws to bolt it into his head, which is crazy.
Yeah. That's got to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So he actually looks a little bit like Trapjaw from He-Man.
Oh, yeah. From He-Man?
Yeah. And so Cobra Commander has turned him into Destro because he betrayed him. So it's a source of shame. So that's where I'm like...
So maybe, obviously this cartoon is not necessarily going to go into the history of that. So now, he's just a weapon supplier, regular human.
Yeah, and
now he's
just subservient.
A metalhead bad guy.
He's just subservient to Cobra Commander in that way. And again, maybe they flip it. It's a continuity driven series. It totally is. So if you're listening to this and you've watched all the episodes and you're like, Joe, you sound so stupid.
Right.
It's because I have not watched ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
On purpose. So it's a good episode from the Cobra side. I think it's weak from the G.I. Joe side because they don't really do anything good.
Just shoot.
They just shoot and get in fights. Yeah, they're there to shoot and get in fights. And then from the Cobra side, though, it is interesting.
Right.
To see him and Mindbender go at it was great.
I think it develops the Cobra side because
it totally does.
Like I said, I only watched with you recently one, but I do remember the other ones. They spent a lot of time developing the characters, the G.I. Joe characters, and going around and meeting people like Breaker and introducing those in. So I think this is probably, where they finally start to develop the Cobra side and alleviate the mystery of the Joe's tracking down Cobra and all that kind of stuff.
And I do question, and that we're watching, this is the order that this is like the air order, I think, or whatever. We're doing
episode 9. So it's numerical.
But
order.
a lot of times, like production order will be different from the order that it aired.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
right.
So
Okay.
we're following, I believe, air order. So then I will say, why did it take them 9 episodes to get to Destro?
Right.
The one before this, which was actually pretty fun, is just a random the Joes break out of a bust up a local fight club at a prison. Right. And it's like, that was a fun episode. Why would that episode come before this one?
Right.
If you're doing all this character building, you're 9 episodes in before you
maybe it's that kind of
Destro.
It's a filler episode that they had if they were running low or slow.
Yeah, maybe.
Or, behind or something. They had
that
one that they could stick in anywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's totally right. There was a million reasons why they could have done it. So that's my take on it. I like it. I do like it. I like all the Cobra's interplay and everything, but I don't like how they treated Destro.
Right.
That seems undestro to me.
Yeah.
It's very undestro to me.
Yes.
As evidence when they did the sequel and they just kill him off in the first one.
Right.
And it's like, who was thinking that? And maybe it's because Eccleston didn't want to come back. I don't care. Cast someone else. You did it for Cobra Commander.
He's in the match.
You can't get rid of Destro. You can't have Destro's a strong force in the show. So we're gonna see. Let's see how he develops. Though we'll see. Maybe he's gonna turn awesome.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Man, it's always a pleasure. I love being here and talking G.I. Joe. I mean, what better way to spend a day, right?
I know. There really isn't. So, listeners, remember, get back to me with the answer to that trivia question. Go to Kickstarter, search for Command Files or After Action Report, and support Command Files Volume 3. You need to do it. Josh Eggebeen, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yo, Joe.
And now you, Joe, and Joeing is half the battle.